Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning on in to Valley News Now on this Memorial Day, on this Monday we've got. It's shaping up to be a pretty nice day outside on this Memorial Day. If you've got anything to head out to today, we'll let you know what we got in store. But again, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Alex Larson. So I know many of you are probably wondering, what do we got in that forecast today? I'm going to tell you just what that is. We're going to hop on over to the Valley News Live website. I'm going to pull up my screen for you here, all right? Okay, we're on the Valley News Live homepage here, and we're going to head on over to the weather tab. Here you can see meteorologist Lisa Green just updating this for you a little bit ago. Pleasant weather for Memorial Day, she says. We're going to cruise on down. Looks like Fargo right now. We're sitting at 49 degrees. We are going to hop on up to about 73 degrees today. So it's going to be a pretty nice day outside. We got a little bit of clouds to deal with, but check this out as we head on into our 11-day planner. We're going to be hopping up into those 80s by the end of the week. 81 on Friday, 75, not too bad on Thursday, pretty comfortable. And then we'll stay like that until about Tuesday next week. And we'll hop back down into those low 70s. So a lot going on weather-wise, but we also had a lot going on news-wise. So we are going to start with our news portion of this segment after a body was found in Oak Grove Park in Fargo near the Red River yesterday afternoon. So according to the Fargo Police Department, officers were called to the 100 block of Maple Street North. That was around 1:45 p.m. Officials say a fisherman walking in Oak Grove Park near the river found an unresponsive adult man in a wooded area and called 911. When officers got there, they determined that man was dead. FPD's Criminal Investigations Division is actively investigating this case. No further information is available right now, but the name of that person is also not being released right now. That is due to the ongoing investigation as well as the notification of next of kin. However, if you do have any information related to this incident, you're encouraged to contact the Red River Regional Dispatch Center at the number on your screen. That's 701-451-7660, and then ask to speak with an FPD shift commander. You can also submit an anonymous tip by texting keyword Fargo PD as well as your tip to 847-411. And yesterday marked 5 years since the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Floyd's death sparked worldwide protests and a movement for racial justice. Local leaders held a special worship service Sunday in Floyd's honor, and it was one of a number of community events this weekend marking George Floyd's life and death. Those included a moment of silence where members of Floyd's family were joined by a crowd of supporters just steps from where he drew his last breath in South Minneapolis. And the first recreational marijuana shop not on tribal lands opened up in Moorhead over this weekend. So the White Earth Band of Chippewa actually became the first tribal nation in Minnesota to open recreational marijuana dispensaries outside of its reservation. So this comes after a new deal signed by Governor Tim Walz. Agreement allows White Earth to open up to 8 retail cannabis dispensaries across the state. Owner tells Valley News Live they decided to open a location in Moorhead because of accessibility. We're going to take a listen here.
All eyes are on us right now, being the only ones that are open and doing this. So there's a little bit more heightened responsibility to educate and as well as making sure that we've got products that consumers want.
So according to Wilson, they're planning to open other locations throughout Minnesota as well. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz signing bills that will impact pensions for several sectors of employment. Senate File 2884 adjusts the retirement benefits for teachers, firefighters, police officers, state patrol officers, as well as public employees. Bill lowers the age of teacher retirement from 62 to 60 years old, and it also lowers the reduction percentage from 6% to 5% for teachers with 30 years of service, providing full pension benefits without penalties. If you want to read more about this bill, just head on over to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. And U.S. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem traveled to Israel yesterday. Her arrival comes after the shooting that killed 2 staffers at the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. During her visit, she's going to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as victims of terrorism. Prosecutors say the man, who is now in custody, shot a young couple as they left an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum Wednesday night. Justice Department is investigating the shooting as an act of terrorism. And you may be wondering today, what is open and what is closed on this Memorial Day? Well, I'll tell you what, government offices, post offices, courts, and schools, they are shut down. These are on your screen as well. U.S. stock markets and banks, they are also closed. Most FedEx and UPS pickup and delivery services, they are not going to be available today. However, vast majority of retailers, they're going to stay open. Many of them trying to lure customers with big promotional deals. If you find a good one, let me know. I'm looking for one. And the Fargo National Cemetery will be hosting a Memorial Day remembrance ceremony today. There's going to be a wreath-laying ceremony accompanied by music, speeches, a moment of silence, a rifle volley, as well as the playing of taps. Ceremony starts at 3 p.m. today, and it's said to be lasting about an hour. And this is not your typical high school graduation. I know we had a lot over this weekend, but in Findlay, North Dakota, there was a graduating class of only one student. Valley News Team's Harrison Prey was there and introduces us to the one and only 2025 graduate at Findlay Sharon Public School. We're going to take a listen, okay?
It is my pleasure to welcome my parents, family, friends, faculty, staff, and special guests to my 2025 graduation ceremony.
Meet Bryson Kirk,
This is Bryson.
Yeah.
I've always encouraged you.
the lone graduate at Findlay Sharon Public School.
It's kind of cool. I kind of like the small classroom size.
But he still had some company.
Not all my classes were by myself, so I had some people to joke around with.
He partnered with students a grade below him for most of his classes.
I don't have to give you a hug, but
No, you don't.
And his mom knew from the very beginning this was the school for Bryson.
It was just obvious that he would go to school here.
And she couldn't be happier for her son.
Proud to have him be the only one.
But at one point, he wasn't the only one.
It hasn't always been a class of one.
There's been as many as 7 students in a classroom.
People have moved away or left,
And in the beginning of the year, there was 2 students in his grade.
and then one dropped out, so then he became the only one.
And for faculty, it was a pleasure to have him attend their school. And for teachers, Bryson was a pleasure to have in class. All to earn a diploma
I will be turning his tassel and giving him his diploma.
from his mom.
This is your time.
Time for a moment I'm sure they won't forget.
Congratulations. I love you.
No, I do.
And now do I turn your cap?
I think so.
Now I turn his tassel.
In Findlay, Harrison Prey, Valley News Live.
Well, how sweet was that? Bryson plans to work as a mechanic at Findlay Motorsports. He learned part of his mechanical skills in one of the classes he did take in high school. Big congratulations to Bryson. You know, I've heard of small classes in these small towns, but one obviously takes the cake. Now, again, thank you so much for joining us here on the Valley News Now desk. Remember, you can stay up to date with everything you need to know weather-wise as we take on Memorial Day. If you've got any events you've got to get out to, maybe a barbecue or two as well, it is a great tool to have as they keep you updated entirely throughout the day on air and online. But until then, if you are heading out the door, we're going to see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us on Valley News Now. I'm Alex Larson.